Since Lean died and his spot was freed, Gerald got a new cell. Lean smacked him to wake him up.
He wakes up and says, "System detects danger, protection mode activated." Gerald said, "Bruh, you're dumb as a bag of beans, browski, get a new hobby I say." Early in the morning, at night, Mole, Quarter and TG Mid, along with the rebels of the apartment next to theirs, have gone on a mission to rescue people from the basement. One of the rebels volunteered to work as a distraction for the robots. He crawled the vents around the building into the shower area. Inside the vent he used a gag net to set an alarm that attracted all the robots to the second-floor showers. The group moved down into the basement that was now clear and walked to the other side of the floor to the cells. They opened all the doors. The cells had people in them with overgrown hair and beard. The rebel group's friend, Dick, was here too. Also Gerald and his robot man roommate got out. Mal said, "All right, careful everyone, the robots are occupied upstairs for now but they're still dangerous." Quarter said, "The Mechaman calls you to rebel against your robotic captors. We are humans, and humans rage. My humans rage." The people nod and some say yeah, and one shouts, "Yeah." And it turns into cheering. The robot man looks offended and leaves to report them to the robots. Quarter hits him in the head, making him pass out, not being as metallic as he thinks he is. Then he proceeds to sink his sword through the back of his neck, killing him. Quarter said, "To those who want to live, and those who wish to retain their humanity, follow me. Today, we riot. Today, we overthrow our captors. Today, we rise above like a phoenix." The detention room had worshippers who were there only short-term for something and didn't bother to leave the room. The rehabilitation room had sus stuff like propaganda posters, the same symbol on the walls and punishment tools. After Quarter pulled his riot speech, people thought, what else can or would they do? They moved out of the basement as an unit while the robots were still trying to figure out the alarm and where it's coming from. From the staircase in the second floor, the group entered the vent with a hit for now to plan the next steps. TG Mid said, "Nobody trusts anyone anymore. People are doing whatever, and everything is going to shit. Right now, I really only think Mal is my only true ally. I say Gerald is the biggest threat. Guy definitely sounds the most dangerous right now. I don't plan on taking anyone to the top, because I won't make it. Basically no one trusts me anymore. I just hope I do." Mal said, "I would say me and Quarter are allies. I would hope to get him into top 3 for sure, mainly cause I wanna see him in the All-Stars game. Besides that there's the rest of the Yeah Alliance. But that's not a super tight alliance. The biggest threat for me is Spiv, just because I never know what he's actually thinking." Spiv said, "I think the game has progressed well. Story-wise we've gotten a little further and socially it's gotten really intense, and I love that. Honestly I don't see anyone as legitimate allies. I'm in this for my own personal gain and I've made that clear to everyone. If anyone's willing to take me further I'll side with them for at least the time being, but the game only has one winner, and people always seem to forget that. No matter who you think you're allied with, they'll betray you in the end, so I prefer to play both sides. Right now the biggest threats are Gerald and Quarter. They have the most power over people and I know their feelings about me are someone they're willing to work with for now but is happy to throw under the bus when needed. No one will admit it but me playing both sides works RN, and I'm a valuable member to both sides. If Quarter and Gerald wants to succeed and go further, they need me to vote the other person. My vote is valuable to them for now. I guess we'll see how that progresses later in the game but I believe I'm safe for the next day at least. The top 3 that I think would give me the most chance of winning would be, me, TG and Mole. We've all played both sides at some point so it makes for a fairly even playing field compared to if someone like Quarter or Gerald was there where they'd have a lot of influence over others alive and dead. I have no idea how to get there. I'll continue my methods I currently have as they seem to be working for now. But if I'm kept around my value as someone to play both sides and be an extra vote for whoever needs it runs out in 2 or 3 days. Once it gets to the top 4, my vote wouldn't be valuable like it is now. People could easily get others to vote for them and against me no less. And I see that as how I go. Right now I'm valuable cause there's a big split down the middle as far as I know. Once that split becomes less set in stone and less of a big divide, that's when I'm no longer valuable. Dutch said, I see everybody as an ally, friend and enemy. I have no plan, I act on impulse. My biggest threat is my mind when I try to serve it. My biggest ally is my mind when I make it serve me. It was time for today's elimination and it was the day when the Cocaine Bullets Alliance collapsed entirely. Spiv, Mole, and TG Mid had completely switched to Perma's and Quarter's side in voting Gerald out. This left Gerald and Dutch voting against Quarter alone. Gerald got voted out today. Perma said, oh damn, rest in peace Gerald of Herald. Mole said, this has been the most shocking vote so far. It was much more decisive than I thought it'd be. Spiv said, oh shit, rest in peace Gerald san. Dutch said, goodbye Gerald, sorry you had to go like this Mansky. Then Gerald died of a heart attack. The strategy of players right now is that Quarter and Perma stand tall with Spiv, and Mel working with them. Mal looks to have made her mind about it. But Spiv seems to still be looking at the pockets to getting Quarter out, discussing it with Dutch. He hasn't made up his mind entirely as the game constantly moves and changes. Dutch is determined to take Quarter out while he could and is trying to pull and convince the rest to do so. TG Mid has gotten fairly alienated from the alliances, as he is seen as a double agent. After taking out Gerald with his old enemies, he is offering his old allies to take Quarter out with him, but isn't getting effective results. This is a visual representation of the alliances currently. Perma and Quarter at one side with Mole, Dutch and TG Mid as the other side, but not closely allied. Then Spiv in the middle, trying to make up his mind, but mostly voting with Quarter.